All right, let's see if this works. Part 2 of our good old adventure. Picking up where we left off, I did a little bit of off-screen training. I don't know if it'll come out or not. Set up the chat. All right, let's do this. I remember that one of the frustrations I actually have with the overall game is this period right here, because you have to go through that cave, and then there's that TM that if you don't have makes everything so much more aggravating. So let me see if I can catch another. I need something that I'm going to want to not care about messing with the moveset of. I'm really happy that they got rid of this for Sun and Moon, the HMs. So some of these are just completely ridiculous. I mean, Flash, no one ever used that for anything that didn't advance the plot. Fine here. I know there's another Bell Sprout around the same area, but health might suffice. Let me see. The problem is I always kill it with one hit, usually whatever's here. Yeah. Oh. Alright, you actually witnessed a blooper there because I was supposed to put Flash, and instead I put both. I put Cut without realizing it. Sometimes just moving so quickly, and well, we've already shown I have the game sped up, so it's not too big of a stretch the imagination to realize I'd slip up in such a manner. I made an oopsie. It's my mistake. I'm so sorry. Okay, we go in here. No, actually, I think who had Cut? Might not have been such a bad move. I have to look at the move sets. Remember who? Oh, Needle Queen had it. So yeah, it was my mistake. Now we don't have EXP share. That would make this infinitely easier. I just have a lot of problems from Gen 1 that carried over to this remake. They've, I guess, to an extent corrected, but it still is kind of not, they're not all the way there. Let's put it that way. Oops. I didn't even look at that. Oh man. My mistake. Go over here. Like the bug man. Okay. Or rather, I don't know. I'm forgetting genders. Try it again. Switch out again. There we go. Got rid of that. Weedle. Weedle gets smashed. HM moves so much. It's really weird when I play these. A lot of times I didn't even notice, and just now, ever since maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I just hate HMs. Go out of my way to figure out what ways I can avoid having the least amount of them on the team. Other than fly and surf, I just, I want them to be gone. I mean, fly is basically the only reason I catch any flying type and use it as part of my main group other than Charizard. It actually really sucks when you think about it because a lot of the birds from subsequent generations, like Starly and Noctowl, or they're not bad. At least my opinion. But again, we have other alternatives like Crobat, for example. So this is the area when you go in here that is just such a nightmare if you don't have the proper TM, you can even call it that. There's not much to be desired down here. But look, it's my favorite starter that I did not pick for whatever reason when I started the walkthrough. Oh man. But look, there's my second favorite that I usually pick. Only generation has 3 starters or all of its starters I actually really, really like. All the ones after this, there's always one I'm just like, yeah. Oh, thank you, basically. It's really an unfortunate thing because if I weren't limited by the 6-member team thing that has always been in these games, I probably would give more thought to, trying other stuff out. But generally, it's about the same, maybe 5 per team I always have, and then the other 3 or 4 they're interchangeable. That like fit that 6 slot that can kind of be anything else. And even with that, there's still something that's preferable among the entirety of whatever I pick. I know I'm doing a little tangent rant and no one's understanding now. That the one person who's here isn't understanding. Probably should have done a speed run too because I'm adept enough toward this where there's very few points where I'm just like, oh man, how do I do this? I have no idea what's going on. And that I like how I said that right as Needle Queen took a tumble. It's like I'm so adept, and then watches my person I've had smacking everything up gets destroyed. Yeah, and what's even worse is that in the context of the show, they don't do it that way, or rather, with the 6-member thing, whenever you bring something back, you always have to train it or make it on par with whatever is around. Hey Ruben, I told you that Patreon thing was such a bad idea. Like, remember how I said only maybe you and somebody else would sign up for that? Because it sucks because my main motive for going there was because of what YouTube was doing, and with all their little screwing up and stuff. Um, but also, it goes back to how like tight pocketed people are. They will not back something no matter what it does. One of the reasons I have the audio muted is because I don't want you to listen to sped up music that just doesn't actually sound anything like what's genuinely there or what's actually there. It all adds up. All goes together. I'm skipping them for. No, it's not your fault. I give you the benefit of the doubt for being one of the people that actually kept their word. It's just when I think about how often in real life I see people do things that are so basically the narrative when you watch the kind of tight pocketed stuff is, oh, well, people are very conscious about what they spend stuff on. Like, well, yeah, but when you see people in real life that go and buy uh, clothes they don't need, as I mentioned in a video earlier last week, and just a wide variety of things that they could do without and that they really usually only bother with once or twice, it makes me convinced that there's almost this. I guess the way I'd look at it is that whatever they spend on, um, that's fine to them because it's only befitting of them. But if it befits someone else, they don't want to see that person possibly experience something that they themselves are not thinking about for themselves. I know that that sounds like word salad and kind of strange way of describing it, but it's basically me saying that whenever someone wastes their stuff on just a regular non-utility thing that they're only going to use once or twice, they'd rather waste it on that than actually contribute to something that is continuous. Because for as disillusioned as I get, a lot of times I'm not going to get to a point of ever just saying, "Oh man, I'm done trying." Oh yeah, it's still only limited to six. They've made it even more complicated because when I would play through Yellow, for example, which is probably still my favorite game just because it's the only one you can get all the starters in. I would have Pikachu and the starters, and then maybe anything else, Snorlax, Eevee, some other, something else. But ever since Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5, it's been very difficult to just stay with that one group, that little itty bitty clique. You doing Envoy? I looked at the other stream I did for this, and I had a lot of dead air. And one of the reasons for like, damn, look at Bellsprout got smashed. Oh my god. I don't know why I didn't just use Squirtle. That was the biggest blooper in the world. But one of the reasons for that big, lack of audio is because of the fact that when I was sitting here and trying to record the record this and speak, I wasn't able to see the comments because I was using another device. Yeah, you can get Nidoqueen or Nidoking very, very quickly um, in the Kanto games. So like in red, blue, yellow, green, and fire red and leaf green, because you can get Nidoran, whatever gender it is, and then you can level it up to I think it's like 15, 16. Then you can get a Moonstone and Mount Moon. There you go. Oh no, Ruben, I'd never question your activities. I fully accept people having things to do. It's part of the reason I've tried to make the chat as I guess attended to as possible. So generally, if I recognize the names, I'm a lot more quicker to respond than just, hey, here's a random person I've never seen before, just happening to stumble across my stream. Oh, I don't know if they're good or not. So, for example, you say something, I quickly respond, and I do that because I think for any channel, you have to have some level of engagement by people who have enough willingness to show themselves repeatedly. Um, so I'm not going to behoove you or berate you for not attending the stream. I just have this thing of I recognize it's a little bit more boring when you're sitting there rewatching something versus actually seeing it. So that's why when I think about the little dead air, I was like, wow, I really left them without anything. It was just game and no audio, and that's it. So I don't want to continue that pattern. Am I good enough to face the first gym? I don't have a fire type. Let me go and catch Vulpix. Accident. Uh, and Nidoqueen is not going to work over here. It's taking everything out in one hit. I just feel so much like the show. It's uncanny. Remember, there was one guy who reviewed. I think he reviewed the Kanto games, and he was like, seeing me out in this was really underwhelming considering its big role in the show. Because it's not used by anyone at all, like in the context of the actual story, as far as the games. Because even with Pikachu, it's at least used by Lieutenant Surge, and then in the Johto games and all the subsequent games where he appears by Red. So like the major boss battle of the entire franchise. Should just Since it's the one that everyone ends up using. Oh yeah, I that's kind of my thing. I would use it here, but the problem is, Leafeon and all of the Glaceon, the rest of those forms don't exist yet, and then they don't let you get. I think I said this in the last stream that there's no legitimate way to get Umbreon or Espeon in Gen 3 other than that one game on the console. So, those two are my favorite stages. And I don't need Jolteon since I already have Pikachu. I don't need Vaporeon since I already have Squirtle. And I don't need Flareon since I plan on getting Vulpix. And I actually heard that Flareon has the weakest stats or something to that effect. So it's going to be the least helpful. Basically, its hands are tied, literally. That's insane to me. The Bellsprout hanging on by a thread. I find that really funny how right after I get rid of Nidoqueen because it keeps taking everything out in one hit, the oh no, I really like Flareon's design. It's not got the same problem that Squirtle has, like when it comes to the other starters, because I think I mentioned my reason for picking it here is because if I were to like make a track record of how many times I picked Bulbasaur and Charmander, you would think I really don't like it, and it's just like stuck with these other two have such a massive appeal because Bulbasaur is my first Pokemon, so the like nostalgia thing is going, and then Charmander for Charizard, obviously. So it's literally stuck, just being the unfortunate third one that is, something I like, but it's surrounded by two things that have a more nuanced reason for me to pick them. So just like with Flareon, its design is fine in my opinion, but when you stick it next to all the other fire types you could have, it's not too good. Oh man, it's just these games. Oh wow. All right, well, you can't get him here. Oh no, Ruben, I can, since I'm playing a ROM, I can actually hack. I don't know about Ruby and Sapphire, but I can hack Emerald to get whatever I want. So I'd probably use one of them there. I'm considering playing Emerald after this. Again, it's still too early to tell. And if I were to do it, we would have all the starters. Only thing I hate about them is their catch rate is awful. Oh my god. Threw so many Pokeballs with those things, I start losing my mind. What's this? A little glitch, I think just occurred. Oh no. I don't know what that was. That was a blooper. I mean, even if something does happen, I can just play through to the part that I got to and then come back. Also, I would play it if if it were out and I could get, because I don't want to play it and have the game facing the screen. I don't like the way that looks visually. So I'll probably, if I can get a ROM of it, which I doubt I will, I would do it that way. I'll put it this way: I can at least play most of the games released up to this point. So that's something. Okay, Ruben says, when I was a kid, I used to think Blastoise was based on Gamera, the turtle monster from the Japanese movies. Um, there was a guy that used to do Pokemon Abridged. His name was Captain Awesome, and he had I think his YouTube account is still around, but I remember his avatar was Squirtle painted green with one of the TMNT their their little bandanas. So that's what I was always reminded of when I would think of the line. It was the Squirtle Squad, TMNT, Turtles, working as a little group. One here. Coin case required. The win. I don't have my case. They won't let me play the game. I don't have my case. Another one of those annoying attacks. It's really weird because when you play competitively, I expect people to do things to where I can't hit them, but just when it's things in the wild doing stuff that overly annoys me, I'm just amazed. Like, wow, the AI is so great. They know how to piss you off, make you want to just put the game down and just quit. Just say never mind, no thank you, bye bye. Stun Spore. I'm saying it like you can't read the screen. Also, Ruben, are you planning on working tomorrow or what? Any other game franchises you enjoy? I guess Sonic, but the problem with those is that most of the games they're I guess on different emulators that I don't have, and I don't think I could play through those once or twice without getting annoyed or frustrated just because of the I'm not as I guess refined when it comes to some of them, if that makes sense. So that's another thing that could happen. That's a motive for why I don't want to play them presently. If that adds up. I just can't believe Vulpix really is nowhere to be found. This is crazy. You might just have to go in there without it, which would be really, really, really lame because I wanted to. Oh, here it is. Oh, oh my god. These encounter rates, man, are going to be the death of me. Like, one of my main reasons for not getting the male Nidoran, or what evolves in the Nidoking, is because in this the encounter rate for that form of Nidoran is only, I think, 1%. It's really, really, really low. Like Pikachu in Viridian Forest. Whenever you see me just in a patch of grass pounding and pounding and pounding, it's literally it's usually just to get something that's hidden up in here. That sucks, Ruben. I wanted you to see me. I guess you could catch the replay of it. This person that made this ROM where it's the whole game backwards, and it's got a lot of behind the scenes stuff or stuff that he put in there himself. So it has the trainer, the gym leader rematches. It also has the an original story where Team Rocket are trying to capture all the birds. It was a little surprising to see how much work he put into it. I just lament the fact the only thing I can't show is the audio because I don't feel like I want to play it sped up like I'm doing here. But yeah, I used to play those all the time. Kirby. They were a fun set of games. I hope Envoy agrees with me that this is an improvement over the last stream. Who's good to use here? All right, well, I'm about to go in there because I don't want to have sit here, smashing stuff repeatedly and not progressing. So that's or I think I could get Pidgeotto and use that instead, and come back for Vulpix later, off camera, where no one can see me. Take Bell's product. No, I needed to cut the gem. I'm gonna get rid of type effectiveness is not a good thing here. Pidgeotto. Pidgeotto gets a great return. Remember, I always try to pick a different flying type for whenever I play through these. So I think if I pick Charizard or Charmander, rather, I wouldn't get any flying type because of what it evolves into. I couldn't catch an Envoy. It roared. It went away from me. It said, "No, please don't put me in the ball. No, no." But usually, if I get Charmander, I don't get a flying type because of what it turns into. And then if I get Bulbasaur, I get Pidgeotto. And then if I get Squirtle, I'll get either Zubat or Sparrow. Pharaoh, rather. I'm going to call it its evolved form's name. There's the move that's the bane of my existence. Personally, the game I would play through and probably get the least annoyed by is Ash Gray, which is the ROM that this one guy named Metapod made, where it's like the first 2 seasons. Well, basically, it's the first season of the show, and then a majority of the Orange Islands turned into a game. And it was really entertaining because it just seems like for something that's a copy of the show, it feels like it's had the most work done. Like he reworked the character sprite. He had some new areas that weren't even in there, which included constructing his own version of the Orange Islands. It's really original for something that's supposed to be a copy of official canon material, or just stuff that we've already seen in another format. A new type isn't necessary. I would say I didn't get a new type in. You got Fairy in. Oh yeah, I don't know why they would make a new one. Oh, I always forget the subplot that's here with the Team Rocket. So you go into the coin. Well, you guys played this game a million times. Over here, I feel like that one guy did the Mario review where it was just trying to explain the mechanics of the original game, and then the person review over it said people who don't even play games know this game. It's so iconic and remembered and well thought of, revered for the most part. Yeah, fairies are. I could have sworn the same thing. Maybe I'm wrong too. All of us have it wrong. Envoy is the supreme being. He knows everything about everything. Ha 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 ha. All right, let's go in here with our type advantage and see what happens. What ends up happening is that I'll try to use Pidgeotto and then it'll get knocked out by something, and then I'll have to throw in Clefable or Nidoqueen. Just 2 gyms in a row that Squirtle just can't do anything against. It feels so neglected. I don't know about that, Ruben. I really like Gen. I love Chikorita and Cyndaquil. It's like the first 4 generations, or maybe the first 5, where I'm all right with the first stages. I know that when I saw the ones for 6 and 7, I was kind of underwhelmed. But again, one of the problems with 5 that the other ones don't have is it really does feel like. Because I remember they said that when Gen 3 came out, people felt like it was a reboot since you couldn't it was incompatible with the past generations, even though the creators wanted it to be, but Nintendo wouldn't let them or tell them that, hey, you can't do that. But with Gen 5, it really felt like it was a reboot just because they introduced all these new Pokemon, and you can't catch anything that's new in Black and White, that is, until you beat the main story. I had interest in them when I was in it when I was little, but I haven't. I would need to review the series. I just remember there were a lot of different incarnations of it. I remember there was one where they turn into the Digimon, and there was another one where they're like companions, or there were most of them were companions rather. But Ruben, I was gonna say I do agree with like I'm not. It's the same thing with Squirtle, where they're not the designs for the Gen 4 starters are not bad. It's just I don't prefer them over Gen 2. I remember I actually had a person who tried to, because I told them the one thing that Gen 2 had that the other groups didn't have was that all the starters stayed one type the whole time you had them, whereas the other ones had like with Blaziken and Fernape and Embor firefighting, and he was like, oh well, that's one of the weaknesses. I'm like, but they're literally the only ones that do that. That's why they're unique. And Pidgeotto didn't last long. She saw that coming. Yeah, we're not having that. That move I hate so much. Well, I think that's how it is with all these franchises, where the first version is usually what sets everything up to be, but is most iconic, and everything after that's kind of, eh. Because I remember when I was reading I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Pokemon Adventures manga, but it's basically like I would consider it a more mature version of the show, but with the exception of having the main characters change continuously or regularly. And I remember reading the first couple of the first series, which is where they have Red, who is the counterpart for the player character of Red from the original games and from the Kanto remakes. And then in the next, I guess, couple of sagas or chapters, they switch main characters over and over and over and over and over again to whoever the protagonist is of the new game. And I just couldn't get back into it. It was just so, I got tired of it. You keep getting attached to this character, and then, oh, I can't wait until you disappear in 3 volumes. So Rinky Dink team, I need to figure out who's going to be on here. Oh, at least we got that badge. I don't own a Switch, so probably not. Imagine I make a GoFundMe. Get me a Switch so I can review this and get 5 views on YouTube. I remember that I had that same dilemma when Xenoverse 2 came out, and they didn't put it on the 360, and I didn't have the 4, so whatever the new one is, Xbox One. So I just, all right, well, I guess I can't play it anymore. Oh well. That's good. Now we can go. The envoy was talking about how you can get certain things early. That's why I like those stones. They're very straightforward. They go, hey, just get this, and it evolves. If I can find the area over here. I always forget what floor this stuff is on. Counter, Butterstone, Leaf. Oh, here it is. Yeah, okay, so why'd I go in there? Not buy that? Wow. Okay, he said, here you go, so there better be one in there. Otherwise, you know this is a scammer. And we have our grass type, so that's great. Let me go get a Firestone for when we eventually catch a Vulpix. Whenever that may be. Only Eevee evolved into something that can fly. Might end up still having to get Dragonair, or Dratini rather. I'll probably take that out for something else. I have 2 balls. Oh, okay. I'll just always misses. Whenever you need that attack the most, it misses. Look, it missed twice. That's how you know you have bad luck. Good moves. Poison powder, sleep powder. Just go to bed. Let's get back to the main story. So there should be a little thing out here. It probably only comes after Team Rocket loses. I always forget where to get the coin case. Oops, don't have a coin case. Don't have a coin case. I could have sworn of it when you actually get it, they don't give you anything. They tease you about not having a coin case, and when you ask them about, hey, you know, can I have this? Like, oh no, we don't. You can't. You have a coin case. Here we go. Okay, Dratini is for 6,000. They're still very far away. I'll just come back for it later. As we spend all that on coins, and then we don't actually get anything from there, which is most likely going to be the case. Here. Oh, the little warp panel thing I hate so much, where you go in all these little different rooms, and then you think you're progressing, and then oh, not really. I have a coin case. And you can still give me the coins. Like I'm never gonna get one in my entire life. Coin case. I would respond to Envoy's comments more, but he doesn't have a coin case. He always go in the future, doesn't have a coin case. That's it. This one. I have a coin case. Yeah. Oh, he disabled tackle before I could even. Oh, I didn't even notice that. How did that work? Oh, everybody's favorite status condition, poison. And what a wonderful place for it to be in the last generation before they made it to where it automatically doesn't kill whatever's in your party with it if you're not in battle. Terrific. How did you come here? Mm, that was a mistake. Oh my god. Oh, that move. Well, all good things come to an end. Hey, Envoy, they're gonna come on my channel. Can't give it anyone because you have a coin key.
Well, if I get a coin case, I finally want to have a partner for life.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. I don't think that's in the agenda for the reasons people should have one of those.
If I win the league, when I finally have a resume that is appealing enough for a long-term partner.
Hey, I should have named the rival Chad. Oh my god. How many real world implications? Where did Ruben go? It disappeared. He got tired of this. Like, yeah, I came here for to say hello and how do you do and sayonara. Go down here. Oh, another one of these. Oh, and I moving too quickly. I think there's one on what's that island called? Sevi. The ones that are exclusive to here that weren't the original. I remember they're the only thing I really like is that they have stuff that is not from Gen 1 on there, but then one of the problems is they have stuff that's not from Gen 1 there that kind of is they never put any of the starters in any of these places, so it's always hard to get those without being illegitimate like me and doing something sneaky and underhanded, hacking to get what you want. Drop the lift key. Oops. Oh, thank you. PM 39. What is that? Let's halt the story. Imagine the main character's just bashing all these goons, and then let me see what's in here. Needle Queen can learn air release. Good. Needle Queen can learn Shockwave. Wow. Needle Queen can learn Dig. Needle Queen can learn Water Pulse. What a wonderful moveset that it could have. But it is the counterpart for Nido King, so I guess it makes sense. I know Envoy loves Nido King. I never liked the coin system. You gave so much for a small amount of coins. Yeah, I really I don't get it either. It just seems like a waste of effort. They abuse you. That's how I'm supposed to beat Sabrina with Squirtle's bite. A Squirtle have to be like level 40 to, to fight any of that stuff without getting knocked out in like 1 hit or 2. All right, what else do we have to do? There's probably another side over there I didn't go to. I must think. All right here. And then go right here. Go right there. Oh, a super potion. I will be needing this never. Oh wait, now I remember. I have to go. Ah, I recall. Eureka! I just realized my mistake. Let's go over here. Over here. Over here. And right here. Up the elevator. For the fourth floor. I have to fight those two goons. Calcium. Somebody that I'm actually gonna keep in my party no matter what. I'm gonna use Squirtle and I'm gonna use Clefable. Needle Queen's the best, the safest bet because it's a fighting type move. So bulky. Remember, I don't know, you didn't see the end of that the last stream where Needle Queen took out all of Lieutenant Surge's team by herself rather, and it was just because I wasn't expecting to. If I was going to win, it would be much more difficult since I usually have Bulbasaur just kind of attack them, and they aren't able to really do anything to it. Got smashed. That was an embarrassment. And Surge he would have retired if this was actually canon that fight. I understand why they don't add that of just like a system where the trainers in the game react to the level of beatdown that they receive. Like, wow, I can't believe you took everything out without losing anybody. I hope we meet again. I got the Silph Scope. Oh, that's what I have to use to get to the other gym. I was wondering where that woman went that has the you lost. See, this felt weird to me. Every time I go down there, the guy looks at me and I have to fight him, and I just fought the actual main guy. Why do I have to battle this goon? He's not hard, but it's kind of the point that you would expect the person after that to actually be of some difficulty. Yep, over here. So thirsty, the road's closed, by the way. We still can't get Vulpix? Really? You fight everything in here and still Vulpix won't show up? Full of noobs and chodes. I agree. I absolutely concur. But I'm still upset at not being able to get Vulpix. I mean, I found that thing like 3 times, and twice it blew me away. Another time I hit it one hit and took it out. So disappointed. I almost could just stop playing, which I don't want to do until at least beating whatever is in that creepy Marowak in in Lavender Town. Oh, but then there's the army of trainers to go around. Oh joy. Ah, healed up. Take on our rival. Always forget that he's in here. I think the first thing he sends out is Pidgeotto or Pidgeot at this point. Not sure. What brings you here? Yeah, I want to talk to you. All right, we won. Take this out too? I don't think so. Yeah. Well, we did some damage to it, so that's good. Gulpin is grosser than Grimer and Muck. What adult Cubones would look like. I really do like Muck. It's probably it's another one of those underappreciated ones I gravitated towards just because of the show, and it just has this really kind of messy looking design that I find endearing. Yeah, that's another unsolved mystery. There's a lot of unsolved mysteries in this franchise, though, to be fair. Stuff that they're just never going to explain no matter what. But here, well, not really good, but not bad either. Oh, I actually used Squirtle. Oh, I now realize we were supposed to fight here first and then go over to the other town. Sorry for doing out of order. I know you guys are very angry and you don't want to watch anymore. It's all right. Go up here. Oh. Oh man, I hated that you can only get Gengar if you trade. Makes it so much more difficult. It's got this really great design, and it just messes it up, making it so hard to get it. It's kind of like with Tyranitar, where it's another one of those really what sound? It might have been the some kind of noise in the background. I don't. I'm really not sure. I don't think I did it on purpose. But your reaction, I guess, is making me a little curious as to what it was. I don't. I really don't know. I should play the backwards the Lavender Town song here, though. It'd be appropriate. These wild Pokemon are so dumb. It's like, yes, please let me help you by getting rid of myself. What a great idea. You show, and then they show up and they say something, and I zap it and it's gone. This Lens tag. Why am I not using Squirtle? This is dumb. I keep forgetting it has Bite, which is Dark type. So it's my resident Dark type. I think the only thing that Totodile has over Squirrel that I really like that was really good is Ice Fang, but that's because the dragon types that are, Lance and the rest of them in Johto. So that noise I made, whatever it was, I didn't intend to make it. I'm so sorry. I'm very, very sorry. I'm really, really sorry. See, now it's much easier. I have no idea why I didn't use Squirrel. That was, again, the biggest blooper in the world. Oh, dumb move. I mean, there is a delay between when I say something and when you hear it, so it's probably one of the reasons we're having such a misunderstanding here. Oh, I think this is it. Not right now, but it's about to show up. Remember, I tried to catch this thing too. It's crazy. Why can't you be mine? Mirror Ghost. Oof. Or Squirtle. Oh, Marowak is tough. Oh, we did it. Not anything to take this thing out. Wow. Squirtle is the ace in the hole. Oh, Bite is such a wonderful move. Oops. Yeah, oh, another bad choice. Okay, let me use Victory Bell, which actually could use some leveling. But again, where we are is not that great of a. That move is not good here. Oh my god. Doesn't affect it. Jesus. What a pain. Okay, we gotta get down there fast. All right. Squirtle's back to normal. Like Squirtle and Pikachu are the only ones that can hit it and not have. I used to try catching the storyline Pokemon too. What like the ones that are in the show? I mean, I wholeheartedly admit to you know, being influenced by the show. I mean, it's the only reason I don't evolve any, like Squirtle, Bulbasaur, um, pretty much any of the starters other than just the Hoenn ones, Sinnoh ones, and then also Charizard. And I always get Bailey if I don't ever get Meganium because I just don't like that design. No, I'm scared of Team Rocket. Oh, they're gonna hurt me. Oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna win. I think it's the end of the game. As far as I go. Remind me of a certain Linkin Park song. Why not use Pikachu? This makes no sense. I just when I'm playing this quickly, I do things that don't make any, strategic sense. Meant the ones in the game storyline, but I tried to base. Yeah. I mean, I actually did a thing where I was thinking about what games in the main franchise you can legitimately get Ash's team, for example, and it was more than I realized. You do it in yellow, you can do it in well, again, depending on the region, of course. Um, in the Hoenn games, you can get his team because you can get Trico as your starter, and then the rest of them are available throughout the progression of the game. You can get his team in X and Y. When you pick because he only had one starter in that gen, which is why it's so easy there. Oh no, Bulbasaur went fresh. I'll give Bulbasaur if I decide to play through this again, which probably will be the case. Will be the case. And also with Ash Gray, which lets me have everything. That answers your question. There we go. Shocked. Zapped. Oh, how did that happen? That was really quick. Wow. Who can fight Eradicate? Oh, it's Infatuated. Good. Being in love. Oh, critical hit. How convenient. I'm glad Dirk is finally able to come back. I was so worried about him. I said, no, Dirk, please don't leave me. Don't let me be surrounded by the neoliberals. Like, I guess Ruben is there, but still, just other than him, I don't know where anybody else varies on their political ideology. It could be after Marowak. It could be after Sabrina. I wanted to at least to go up to that, is what I was trying to say, because I'm trying to remember where that woman is that has that you go in here and the guys like, oh, I'm so thirsty, bleh, and then you come out and you have to figure out where the stuff is. Go over to there. Let me see. Where is she? Oh, in this building, I believe. I'll try and try this instead. T. There we go. Oh, so I could have actually. Wow. Oh, because I think when you beat, there's someone you beat that after that you can go and get Snorlax, which is really really good. But I'm probably not going to get for this run, and then we can fulfill Envoy's dream of getting Hitmonlee, his desire, but not before taking out. That's what I'm saying. I just want to go and get the badges, and then we have all this Team Rocket stuff. A lot of times, if I'm doing it in this manner, where it's just me, going from one story event to the other, I don't have the level grinding that I would. So, it ends up not going as fluidly as possible. But yeah, I know the flute. There, I recall. Just how this is literally the only main series game out of the first 4 generations that I cannot have. So I cannot use the group I want to use for, which is what makes me so excited for when I eventually play through the other games, like actually being able to go around whatever I want. I'm the character. Yeah, when I play Fire Red, I'll get Hitmonlee and just stick it in there with Nidoking. That actually probably is the game where I get the closest to anything Ash has, because I usually get Charizard, Kingler, Snorlax, Pikachu. Who else? Maybe Dragonite, and that's about it as far as stuff he doesn't have. But you get my point. Yeah, off limits. Look at Squirtle going down. Neither Queen doesn't take anything; it just smacks them all up. Oh yeah, Kingler doesn't get used at all. Gets no love. He has all those water type starters. Why use Kingler when you can use Squirtle or Totodile or Greninja or uh, Oshawott or anything else? Hey, let's go on that warp panel. You're causing chaos and distortion. Up, yeah, we're not having a repeat of that. His lobster Pokemon from Gen 4. Uh, what, Weasel? That's who you're referring to? I don't know why they didn't just give Ash Piplup, or at least Primplup or something in that evolution line. It's like my problem with all the water types he has between Gen 1 and Gen 5 is like they're all not Squirtle, basically. Like they all just are devoid of personality, and then if he has it, it's in some form that is the lesser appealing of other forms. Like how with Corefish, I always liked its evolved form a hell of a lot more. I was like, why didn't they give him one of those? It looks so cool. Yeah, I got confused by that, Ruben. Thanks for clarifying. I knew what he was talking about, but just his referring of it that way, I like, wait a second, something's gone wrong. Oh, this is yeah, that was not a good good matchup. Hmm. No, I was gonna say that with another good one, but I'm talking about Corfish. Oh yeah, yeah, Weasel. Its design, I'm fine with. It's just Gorefish, it literally was like this is like one of the few instances where I would prefer he evolve it, and he evolved everything else in Hoenn except for that. That drives me crazy. Yeah, I'd rather he had evolved that and then not evolved Snorunt, so he could have possibly gotten Frostglass, which didn't exist at that point because the creators were not methodically planning any of this stuff out. But still, it sucks. Wing attack, bite, wing attack, bite. All right, it's going nowhere. I need to get like a little directory of all the different trainers that are in here. It's zapped, drowsy. Use our resident dark type move. Good. Look it out. Hypno. Oh yeah, squirrel's going down again. Lynched. Headbutt. How good it did, even though it was almost devoid of health. This is great. These hypnos are tough. They're taking everything out. I fall in love with Jigglypuff. That's a great idea. I'll get you very far. I do have another Moonstone, so I could have a Wigglytuff, but that's another instance of me just preferring one design. Oh yeah, because they were, that was them trying to like pick up the magic of what she had, just like how Max would hold Brock's ear like how she used to. It's funny you can watch that show and just like its earlier seasons and know how much stuff they deviated from wanting to do, like the GS ball. Like nobody, I just love the explanation of, oh, there was going to be a Celebi in there. We thought we'd make the fourth movie about Celebi, so there's no reason to have one of those in there. We'll have him take it to Johto, and we'll stop talking about it. So hopefully, the people who watch the show will forget about it. We didn't. We know. We remember. Oh my god, there's a warp panel. Oh my god. Oops, stumbled upon rather. I don't know if I can win this. Right now, like I might have to do some grinding. All that infatuation then translates to actually caring enough to not want to hit it. For that 10 level variance. Yeah, they certainly do have weak points, I agree. I'm getting thrashed in here. I feel so embarrassed. Now, Dark is never gonna come again.
Well, I'm glad I left that channel.
Like how Jan always had a plant that was just a repeat of Victoryville in each gen. Oh yeah, they have XPs. But that's kind of my thing that all of Ash's Pokemon from every generation post the first, with the exception of very few, are just XPs of whatever. And usually it's not even clever because they'll get the exact same type and they'll make it an XP. So like for example, a lot of people really like Typhlosion, and I was kind of pissed off when they evolved Ash's Cyndaquil after 10 years. But it wasn't an XP of Charizard because it was obedient, and it also wasn't the powerhouse of the team, which is what Charizard was. That's part of the reason they didn't evolve it. They wanted to keep Charizard as the head honcho, the one to keep calling back in whenever things were dire or there was some heavy consequence. But Squirtle and Totodile, complete XPs. Diglett dig, Diglett dig. What from that one episode, or I think you might be mentioning or referencing something I forgot about. Man, these are some tough trainers. Oof. I don't even want to think about battling Sabrina. So worried. Oh. Well, I personally really, really, really like Bailey, so we're gonna have another disagreement on that. I told you earlier I hate I do not have a fondness for Meganium at all, but I do like it's just I've never had that kind of distaste for one evolved form and then dislike the other one. Sidekick, Dirk. That's why I'm thinking of maybe going somewhere and just training Squirtle off screen for a while. Because I don't think anybody wants to watch me just run again and again and again and again in the grass. And I don't even know how to get out of here, actually. I keep battling all these trainers. I'm going to be stuck in here forever. Yeah, me too. Yeah. No, Envoy, every time I play the Johto games, usually, well, those are different from this because I can actually get all the starters in any of them thanks to hacks, but usually I always get Chikorita. Finally got Vulpix. Now we have to bid another one of our team members adieu. Let's do this. Any, mini, miny, mo, catch the tiger by the toe. If he's hollering, let him go. Any, mini, miny, mo. Draw. Yeah, same thing with me, Dirk. I mean, that's why I always get one as a, because the starters have I think it's an 85% chance of being male. I always get a reset the game to get a female Chikorita because of both the show and because Whitney has that little stupid attract thing with Miltank. I think you remember possibly where just she's considered one of the toughest gym leaders. Like just out of nowhere, the difficulty is really ridiculous with her, like in a way that other gym leaders are not. I answered Dirk Rubin earlier in the stream. I think he heard me, possibly, hopefully, maybe. Oh, let me get my the Firestone. Where's it? Yeah, ate it. Yeah, I just think Charizard's the best fire type and flying type. I love it. Um, in a way that I don't have the same kind of, just like blind support for one type because with all the other starters, there's always someone else. I guess I could lean toward that one. Look at Reddit. It was like I'm gonna get you. I don't care if you're evolved. It doesn't matter to me. I can take you with my best shot. Hit me with your best shot, rather. I know you're trying to be helpful, Ruben. I'm not here to, badmouth you. We have tolerance here. Oh man, I forgot to record the video on Wheeler, the new EPA director, administrator rather. Why he was so what my position on him is, which I already said in the climate change stream I did from last month. Yeah, I'm glad somebody else remembers the lyrics of that song. I'm trying to make a an intro for the streams where it's this one old song and then like have the streams have a title to them where it corresponds with the lyric of the song. Right. Go back in here. And I might just call it a quits. I'm kind of the stuff is too underleveled right now. Um, good job with Lindsey Graham trying to get again. I think Attorney General. I've never seen Juber before. He's brand new. But no. They recently launched some campaign to get rid of him in South Carolina. So yeah, good luck. That is the. It's actually not as red as somewhere like Alabama or Tennessee, but it still is somewhere where the best the other party gets is like 40%. An obnoxious move. I like how Vulpix still hasn't blown me away. It's it considers its evolved form a worthy adversary. Starters: first gen fire, second gen water, third gen Trico, fourth gen. Oh, I love Chimchar, Dirk. That was my. I used to. I had one of those until I think I mentioned the last one. I had one of those till it was like level 99. So then I evolved it. Just because I also really like Infernape. Its only problem is just being another fire fighting. Uh, so they, that I don't know why they kept doing it. It was so stupid. 3 times in a row. And everybody loves Charizard, so I knew you would probably say him or it rather. Oh, that was my least favorite out of the Gen 2 starters, but it still is still fine. I'll take it over a lot of other stuff, obviously. And Trico is my favorite for Gen 4, Gen 3 rather. So we're fairly aligned. I mean, it's just grass types all the way up until Gen 4. That was like the first time I really had a deviation. I was like, Earthquake's all right, but yeah. And then Gen 5 is Greninja. Everybody loves Greninja. Froakie rather. Yeah, I'll do some off-screen leveling, and then I'll do another stream of this. I really did want to at least play through maybe half, and I guess we are technically at the halfway mark with 4 badges, but I wanted to get further into it before doing the other one because I don't like playing multiple games at the same time. I get confused, or at least I think I will. But look, I'm happy that you've come. I think this stream has been a complete upgrade from the last one. I was kind of struggling to figure out what I was going to say, and I'm glad that we had the discussion. So I appreciate your attendance, and we'll reconvene as early as tomorrow, as late as by the end of the week. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.